with something like this and like wrestling, MMA, whatever it is, right? There's the skill of whatever you're doing. There's also the skill of being a competitor. And, he's only fought 2 times against guys who weren't really all that high level. And so his skill as a combat athlete probably is not that high yet. And it's going to take a while to get there. And you see this even with guys in the UFC, they have 10, 15 fights and they still make stupid mistakes because they get in a pressure situation. There's adversity and they don't know how to handle it yet. And then you see them years later, right? And they handle that adversity a lot differently. And they're more mature and they've been through it. And so like I've been through that for the last, I've been competing at a high level in wrestling since we'll say 17, 18 years old. I've been competing at, a really high national level. So I've been through tons of adversity. And so it's like, hey, I may not have the boxing skill, but that doesn't mean I can't get in there and fight somebody, right? I've been fighting people for 20 years.
It doesn't mean that, but it might mean that you might not win.
There's a chance. So here's how I think about it. If he's actually a really good boxer, right? Like I went and I was sparring with someone good. And what was that he challenged for world title at Freddy's. Okay. And it's like, I have no illusion that I'm as good as you at boxing. I am not going to beat you in a boxing match. If Jake's really, really good, I'm probably not going to beat him, right? But I think he's probably not really that good. That's what I think, for real.
Right? The nicest way to go about it.
It was. It's interesting. Like when he wanted to, he was almost like, you took all the wind out of my sail.
No, because I smirked. I was laughing because I was like, Ben, sell the fight, bro. He's like, I'm probably gonna lose.
But he did say no. I don't think he's. Listen, there's a chance. He's really good. If he's really, really good, he's gonna beat me. I don't think he's really good. That's what it comes down to.
Why not? I got it.
Because he
Talk shit a little bit more, man.
He beat up.
I'm trying to like fuck himself. You know what? I'm not taking your water back. I'm not getting the water.
He beat up a YouTuber and a basketball player who likely has never been in any type of fight in his whole life. So what about that makes him good? Really though?
That's a little better.
It's right. My answer would be, did nothing he did in his last fight impress you?
It's like this. Like you wrestled, right? And you were actually relatively good. If I threw you in there against Jordan Burroughs, right? And even I'm really hell of a wrestler, I didn't have a chance against him. What would I learn about Jordan Burroughs? And the answer is I wouldn't learn much because the level discrepancy of the levels is so far apart and you're not good compared to him. So I'm not going to learn much about him, right? And so if he had fought someone good, we're going to learn something about him. He fought, I don't even know what the first dude's name was. He was a bum. And the basketball player, while he was a good athlete, looked like he literally, the first time he got punched, there was just like, oh shit.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
And it was like, to me, it was like, oh man, that guy really never got punched before. Like he'd never been hit. And so, when someone's in there against people of that level, I think it's hard to judge. Did he throw a good 1-2? Yeah, sure, right? But I mean, if no one's ever fought, lots of people can throw good 1-2s against them.
I just think, so Jake and I both are approaching that 3-year mark. Mm-hmm. With any sport, not even just sports, anything you do for 3 years, if you don't get somewhat good at it by that time, like stop. He's hit that tipping point, and I can confidently say this. He's hit that tipping point where he's not just a YouTube boxer anymore, and he's obviously on that mission to prove that.
Sure.
But my continuous rebuttal would be, he is at that point where he's a legit boxer now, and I'm sure you've seen on Instagram.
So, but when you say legit, is that like, he would challenge for a world title? Is that he's going to be the top 10? Is that like, where does legit go? What level is that?
Legit in the sense of, and we experience this every day. People come over and they think they're sparring a YouTuber, then they leave nose bloodied and having been knocked down 3 times in a casual sparring session. When I say legit boxer, I mean he's far beyond what his skill would be perceived.
So obviously I don't know the boxing world as well, so it's kind of hard for me to judge levels. Like in MMA, what I say is this guy who's challenging for a UFC title? Is he like a UFC low-level fighter? Is he a regional fighter?
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of like, it's hard for us to tell because he hasn't fought anybody. And so, hey, if he's really, really good, if he's genuinely good at boxing, he might beat me, right? If he's not good, if he's not that great, if he's not a high-level guy, he's not going to beat me.
He can definitely. We know he can strike. The story you're telling right now is one that I've been kind of in line with, which is we think he's a very good fighter, but the fact of the matter is we just haven't had the ability to see it proven yet. And that's just the fact of the matter. We've seen him fight 3 non-fighters, right? Not 3? Fighters on his.
Fight 2?
Now he's had 3 fights, two professional and 1 amateur,
okay,
right?
Got it.
The good thing about this fight, in my eyes, and I've been saying this the whole time, is I personally believe that if he is able to step into the ring and beat an actual fighter, someone who has been bloodied up, has been dropped on their fucking head and gotten back up. We were at that fight.
Well, I want to talk about that.
We'll talk about that after. If he can win this fight, a lot of people are going to have to stop doubting him. A lot of people are going to have to say, yo, he just beat someone who fights for a living. Now, you're not a boxer, but you definitely learned enough about how to strike through your training for MMA.
Yeah.
I believe beating you would give Jake Paul enough credibility to continue telling that story.
Sure. And so, I mean, we both wrestled, right? And so you could probably relate to this more. I mean, have you ever been at that tournament, right? And you see the kid kind of warming up, you're like, damn.
I almost forgot. Jake sent a special message. I don't know. I haven't seen it. So here goes.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Ben, what's up, you ugly motherfucker? You middle-aged Dutch woman, ugly Napoleon Dynamite looking ass motherfucker.
He should stop shaking his camera.
I know you're probably sitting there right now with your little pedo smile, your little big-ass ears, your octagon-shaped head. You think this is a fucking game. You think this is a fun payday. You think this is a way to get clout. And yeah, you might be right, but I promise, April 17th will be the worst day of your fucking life. Just as I asked Nate Robinson's kids not to watch the fight, I will ask your kids not to do the same. So Ben Askren's kids, wife, please don't watch this because your dad will be bloodied, unconscious on the fucking canvas April 17th. And I don't want you guys to see that. I mean, you already saw him get knocked out in 5 seconds by Masvidal. I mean, your kids are probably going to school getting made fun of because their dad got knocked out in 5 seconds. And then he's going to get knocked out by Jake Paul. So please leave them out of this. You fucked up, Ben, by taking this fight. And April 17th, I promise to my team, my family, my brother who's there right next to you right now, I promise to make you go down in history as the world's worst UFC fighter. You're dumb as fuck, bro. April 17th, I'm gonna show the world just how big of a bitch you are. I'm gonna make you my bitch. I fucking promise that. And P.S., I know a good barber who can help you cut that Brillo pad off the top of your fucking head. Peace out, guys. Logan, what's up? Ben,
See,
you're a bitch.
like, here's my rebuttal. I have genius
Hey,
level IQ. My hair is outstanding. What's the issue?
Neither of those are true.
Those I definitely have genius level IQ.
And his hair is pretty.
Test me. And my hair is outstanding.
He has some nice curls.
I have nice curls.
Nice curls.
And I definitely have genius level IQ.
What's your IQ?
Test me.
What's your IQ?
At least 160.
Yo,
No,
what?
that's not true.
What do you mean? I can't.
One time I got a 146, but I was driving the car.
Wait,
and doing it in
that
one
high?
hand.
No,
I did it
stop.
on one
No
hand.
way. No,
I was
no,
driving
no.
the car. Listen, the two dudes in the back seat got an argument about who had a higher
Bro,
IQ.
this dude
And
went
I
on
said,
Just Jared
I'm gonna
and found
do-
their IQ test.
I'm
No,
gonna do the same thing.
146, Ben,
Yeah, well, I'm
146 is above genius.
That's what I'm trying to tell
insane.
you.
That's
This
a
is what I'm trying.
savant level.
I'm trying to tell you this.
It wouldn't surprise me,
Yes.
but I also don't believe it right off the rip. Right?
Well, we can try
if
it.
it did,
Bring someone. You got someone here to do an IQ test. with me?
yo, hey, my IQ guy in the back left corner. Could you
can
come up
find
and get
someone on Twitter.
Ben one of your
By the
tests that
way,
you have in your
Okay,
back
sir,
pocket?
how many octopuses is there to see?
Was that harder to watch for anybody after having hung out with
Yes.
this guy? for
I
the
wish
whole
I didn't
show?
play it at the end.
I kind
Yeah,
of,
same.
I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
should I
No,
unfollow
it's all
Ben now?
good.
I just followed him. I don't really know what to
I
do.
I mean, he's
forgot.
trying to be intimidating, but it wasn't very intimidating. I mean, I've spent the